about nothing. It's me, your boy, the hottest dude in the podcast game, Sebastian Conelli. And as always, per usual, we got the cute boy here himself, Robbie boy. Robbie, say hello to the beautiful people.
What's going on, beautiful people?
I'm very excited. We have someone in studio that's going to be perfect for the podcast. For all the people that have all these dating questions, this is the person to go to. She's a dating coach. She has a podcast, Finding Mr. Height. Give it up for Allie Jackson.
Hello, hello.
Ooh.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's funny, your voice is so motivating that when you said give it up, I almost started clapping for
yourself?
myself.
Give it up.
Like, yeah, give it up. No.
Yeah, I do open the show like it is a live show sometimes.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm from a live background, so I'm about that. Did you ever perform live?
No.
No.
I
You
haven't.
looked terrified when you said that. No.
Got me? I get presentations at work. Does that count? Do PowerPoint decks count?
I don't know. If it's hard for you and you feel like that's an accomplishment, then yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we have done a few live pods as a part of the podcast, which has been really fun.
It has it?
Yeah,
That is
super fun.
performing.
Yeah, I guess
Definitely.
technically.
Yeah.
But you're comfortable in that space.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I love this. So we talk a lot about dating on the podcast here. Robbie and I, two single men.
Two single men.
Single lady here.
Single lady.
Yeah,
okay.
single. We're single at the table.
Three
Yes.
single people at a table. Amazing. And so I'm so happy to have you on because you're so thoughtful. You're so you put so much energy and you know a lot about dating. One thing that I noticed that you do is I saw one of your Instagram videos and you were saying like this is for I think it was one about like the time period that you should be exclusive. And you're like, for me, it's like once a week, then twice a week, or whatever makes sense for you. And that last sentence really stuck with me. I go, wow, that's beautiful.
I appreciate that. Also, you're really up to date because that was this morning.
What can I say? I was up early doing my...
I was like, wow.
Was that this morning?
Yeah.
Nice.
But that is my literally my whole thing is whatever makes sense for you.
I love that. I think people on the internet make such hard and fast rules.
Yes. I hate that.
I hate it too because it's so funny because all people that like do give dating advice are being like, but that's actually not what works for me. This works for me.
Totally. And so that's why I say that all the time. I'm like, this is what has felt good for me. This is what has worked for me. And worked is also a weird word. Because what has worked? Like,
sure. Because
my goal as a dating coach, as a human, is not like, this is how you're going to get a boyfriend. This is how you're going to get a girlfriend. That's not... It's like, this is how you're going to feel better about dating. You're going to find somebody that's more aligned with you, where you can feel like yourself and not like you're pretending to be someone just to get that person.
Oh, I love this.
So, like, that's why I come back to whatever feels good for you.
Oh, so I love this so much because most people, it's like a dating coach is the end goal. It's like a weight loss coach. It's like a weight loss coach. It's like for you to be skinny, right? It's not like for you to be in your body and like understand who you are more.
That's a really good analogy because that's...
He did it again, people! He did it once again! I do one good thing an episode. We're
done? Now
I'm going to be a shitbag the rest of the time. Thank you. They took analogies off the SATs right before I took it. But yeah, I like, it's not about like the end goal. It's about the process for you.
Yes. Yeah. And it's about, because dating is so, first of all, hard because no one teaches you how to find someone who's right for you.
Thank you. It is so hard.
And a lot of luck, to be honest.
Okay, now we're playing. Okay. I love that.
Like, no one talks about that.
They'll
be like, well, I met my husband. You just got to put yourself out there. I'm like, you ran into him at Trader Joe's. Like, that was the most random thing. Or like, you happen to live next door to him. Or there's so much luck that goes into it. And it's not like, oh, just do this and then you will meet a partner.
Do you tell them when people are together, you'd be like, that's luck?
Often, yeah.
You do?
Yes.
I think most people, if they're in love with someone, they feel lucky.
100%.
They're like, I'm lucky. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. That's like a big love song.
What song is that?
You want to sing
Lucky,
more?
Jason Mraz, Colby Collette.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. That's like, I would say they would view themselves as lucky.
Yes, very true. But I think...
But the media, like if you have the single person putting it onto them, it almost has a negative connotation.
Yes.
Where when they say it about themselves, it's not negative.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I think a lot of those like black and white rules come from. They're like, oh, just do this and then. No.
Yeah.
I could do everything quote unquote right and still not encounter somebody that's compatible for me.
What's a rule that like people have that they say this is the right way to do things that you think is like outdated or should be thrown out the window?
Oh my gosh, so many just came to mind. The first one that popped into my mind is that women shouldn't follow up after a date. That like you should never be the first one to text if you're a woman who dates men.
I'm from matriarchy. I love a woman texting first.
But it doesn't matter.
It
like
doesn't.
it
no,
shouldn't
100%.
matter.
No.
And so people will write into me, and to be clear, 95, I think, as of the last time I checked, of my audience is women.
Mhm.
Most
Okay.
of them are women who date men. I've done like a bunch of surveys, and
Cool.
so that's the framework that the people that are writing into me come from.
Sure.
And a lot of them are like, oh, I haven't heard from him after our date. He must not be that interested. Like, well, what about you though?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't heard from you. Are you interested in him?
Sure. Sometimes you don't get to know someone's completely the first date, and they're like, "I liked you. I want to hang out again." And you'd be like, "That's enough for me to get to know you a little bit more."
Totally.
Yeah.
So that's a rule I don't like. I don't like rules about who should or should not contact the other person.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm never counting texts.
No.
If you're counting texts, get out, run.
I think people do.
Wait, really?
Like,
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah. Like, oh, I texted 3 times in a row and they didn't say anything.
Yep.
Right? Or like, I shouldn't
mean, if
text.
3 times in a row and they haven't responded,
Well,
then
that's
I start to count them. I'm like, all right,
Well,
I
not
said
fair,
3 things.
If
but-
all you see is the ocean
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your side.
Yeah, my friends and I used to
Which-
say that's a lot of blue.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
You're
lot
like,
of blue.
oh, girl, that's a lot of blue.
Yeah, that's good to recognize. An overall arc of like, wow, I'm responding and they're going dope.
Yeah, patterns?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, or people will be like, oh, well, he took 3 hours to respond, so I'm going to take 4 hours to
No,
respond.
I don't do
Oh.
that. I don't like those games.
I don't like that either. Because sometimes, someone taught me this, sometimes things are important, not urgent.
I like that phrase.
Important, not urgent. That means yeah, it's important that I respond to you, but I'm in the middle of my day. It's not urgent that I get back to you on you being like, have you ever had a BLT? And of course I have.
What? That is so urgent. You're like, first of all, dumb question.
Yes. First of all, I love them. I actually think I'm coming around to they're one of the better sandwiches.
BLTs are amazing, especially in the summer when the tea is fresh.
Oh.
Fresh tea is incredible.
Right?
A fresh tea?
I'm
Well, you
growing.
from Jersey?
I'm growing fresh teas as we speak.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
they're kind of dead at the moment because it's fall.
Yeah.
But I grew tomatoes for I don't know why I keep saying teas. I grew tomatoes for the first time on my balcony. I felt like such a gardener.
Yeah. And they come in and you pluck them and then you put them on the table.
They're so good.
And that's center a meal around a tomato
It's a beautiful
makes me
thing.
feel like most Italian I've ever been. I'm 100% Italian when I have 2 fresh
They're
tomatoes.
like, this is it.
Yeah. I'll say this. Okay, don't judge. I'm pretty
I
bad
might.
at
We'll find out.
I'm pretty bad at texting.
Okay, what does that mean?
I'm bad at my responses are short.
That's what it always means, yeah.
My response, but here's the thing, I'm open to phone calls.
Oh, okay. Do you say that?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at texting, but I'm open to like, hey, I can't texting throughout the day, I'm going to be bad at, but I'll take a phone call for 45 minutes at night.
Can I reframe this for you?
Okay.
I don't think you're bad at texting. I think you don't prefer it as a medium to connect with someone.
Okay.
So like bad,
Yeah.
the word bad means that there's an objectively good way to text.
Okay. You don't think that there's a good way to text?
No, I think if for you,
yeah.
it sounds like I don't want
Sure.
to put words in your mouth. It sounds like you want to use texting as a means to an end. Like, hey, let's meet up at this time. Hey, are you here yet? Hey, do you like BLTs? But like, if you want to connect with someone and get to know someone and talk to them for a longer period of time, for you, that's a phone call.
I don't feel any energy through a text.
So that's what I mean. So that's not bad. That's just how you connect to people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a good reframing. Because you use it
This is a
the way
spin.
you
This
want to
is-
use it is good.
Women
Yeah.
are the
You
best
want to
at
use
spin
it to
jobs.
be like
listen,
where you're gonna be
we
at
will
what
spin
time.
anything.
I know, you totally just made me, you go, you're not bad, you're great.
You're great. You're so good.
Oh my
You're
God.
doing great, sweetie.
I love that so much.
No, but I really do think that if you frame it to someone that you're dating or starting to get to know, be like, listen, I'm bad at texting. Now in their mind, they're like, oh shit, he's bad at texting.
Yeah.
Instead, if you say like, hey, I would love to like get to know you more over phone calls. Like texting really just isn't how I get to know people.
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
nice.
very different.
Yeah, that does sound different. And I'm
People will probably like it more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then
It's
they get
more
to
real.
feel you. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're being vulnerable by
Yeah.
saying that.
I'm gonna crush it.
You're like, can we stop? I gotta go. I have people to tell.
Listen, I'm a great texter, but an even better phone caller. And I don't do voice memos because I think there's like a rhythm to a phone call, a rhythm to a conversation that is like lacking in all these texting and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
well, you're a live performer.
Yeah. So
You're better
He
live.
wants to
I
perform.
enjoy. I'm better.
Yeah,
live.
you're better live. That's fine.
I enjoy connecting with a person, and I think a phone is fine. FaceTime gets awkward sometimes.
FaceTime, because if it drags on and then you're like, okay, I was trying to do something else, but now you're staring at me.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes FaceTime is like, we need to be comfortable in the lulls. You need to be
Yes.
comfortable with someone to FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
I only FaceTime with my nephew.
How old is he?
5.
Amazing.
So, like, what do we do?
Perfect FaceTime age.
He grabs it. It's upside down.
Is
It's
he
every
running
which way.
around?
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll show me a dinosaur. I go, this is great. And then pass my sister the phone. I go, all right, I'll call you.
I gotta go. Do you have a dinosaur? I didn't think so.
Is there any way that, like, because I know that you do like text scripts and stuff
Mhm.
like that on everyone, if you're looking for a dating coach.
Hi. Hello.
But you do text scripts. What does that actually mean? What does that involve?
So it's actually similar to what you said about not preferring to text.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a lot of anxiety that goes into texting. So
Yeah.
people think they're bad at it, or they
Uh-huh.
think that they're going to come across a certain way, or they're worried about asking a question. For me, text strips started as a way to take that part of the anxiety out.
Okay.
So there's so much anxiety about just sending a text.
Yeah.
Let's remove the part about what we're going to say. And I will give you an example of something you could say. And then you can edit it.
Yeah.
It's my voice. And I say this all the time because people are like, it doesn't sound like me. Of course it doesn't. I wrote it.
Sure. Yeah.
Take this as a template. Edit it.
Uh-huh.
Use some critical thinking.
You don't have to.
And then-
That's how I did all my papers in college.
Yeah.
What are we
Have these people
talking?
never plagiarized a
Right,
little
yeah,
bit?
don't plagiarize exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
switch
Sure.
a couple
Just
words
put it in
around.
Google Translates. Translate to a different language. Translate
Translate
back.
it back. Yeah. But you can take that template
Yeah.
and use it to remove some of the anxiety about, like, well, what am I going to say to this person?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I do them.
What's a good like question? I know it's always good to be like personal, right? If you're responding to someone's Hinge or something like that.
Okay.
Right? Like it's always good to like respond to something that you actively see on their page, right?
Yes.
But what is there any like great go-to questions that you think that you could just be like, here's one. Oh, it works pretty well most of the time.
So I liked no yes or no's.
That's great.
Don't ask a
Yeah,
yes or
yeah,
no. If you
yeah.
ask a yes or no question and you get a yes or no answer, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah,
I
Now what?
Yeah,
You
right.
can
Yeah,
see the
exactly.
next-
Do you like BLTs? Bad question. Yes or
Yeah.
no?
Because then you can't say why. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So that's my first thing.
Okay.
I like to say as a general template,
Uh-huh.
tell me more about X. So like you see a guy's picture and he's, I don't know, maybe it's like literally right now, this picture of you. You've got this microphone, right?
Yeah.
Tell me more about this microphone.
And you want me to tell you about the physical microphone? Like,
Well,
No, what you use it
what
for,
you're
I
doing-
imagine.
I meant
This is a
I'm
Shure
sitting there.
SM7B.
I go, you want me to send you a link and we got a guitar center?
But listen, that could be funny.
Yeah.
So like if
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
true.
like if somebody said that to me and then I was like, well, it's black and the brand is this, and like
Uh-huh.
I actually think that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, me too.
But then you just get more of an involved conversation going. So you're like, oh, tell me more about that dog.
Yeah.
Like that's a really easy one. If you don't see something in their profile that you're like, oh, I actually have a legit question about this.
Cool.
Tell me more about blank. Helps.
I like that. I just don't want to put heavy lifting on them, but I guess no matter what, there's going to be lifting.
It's a conversation regardless.
Yeah.
Like it's another, I have done more like generic quote unquote openers. I
Sure.
more so use those on like Bumble, which like if you're a guy who dates women, that's not as relevant for you.
Yeah.
But on Hinge, you have the opportunity to respond directly to something that they said or they showed.
Yeah.
So I think you do that.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good. I love this.
And on the flip side, as you're building a profile,
Uh-huh.
every single thing you're putting on there, be like, what would someone say about this?
That is good advice.
How would they respond to this?
Yes.
Is there a prompt? Is there something here that they would want to react
Yeah.
to?
Yeah. So
Give them
I'm,
material to use.
exactly. I'm in marketing and ecom. We call that a CTA, a call to action.
Okay.
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 So, like,
Here
you
we
know when
go.
you're on a
Uh-oh,
website-
I'm zoning out. No, I'm
You're
kidding.
losing,
I'm
Sebastian.
kidding. I'm gonna start
It's
nodding.
never been in corporate America.
Stay with me for 1 second.
Okay.
You know
I've
when
never had a job like that.
you know when you're on a website and you see
Uh-huh.
like a big ass button and it's like click me to buy.
Yes.
That is a CTA. That is something that makes you want to click.
Oh, okay.
Think about your profile now. What are the things that somebody is going to read and be like, oh, shit, I have to ask about that? Or like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, that's cool. That's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. So like a run-in with the celebrity.
Sure. Yeah. Or anything. Like it doesn't.
If you want to talk about that,
well, yeah. Don't put something you,
would
don't
not
want to
want
talk about.
I feel like you wouldn't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't
Yeah.
list my job
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
because people are so annoying about it.
What do they say that's annoying?
They'll be like, "Oh, what have you been in anything I know?" I guess that's not that annoying. They'll say, "Can you tell me a joke?"
Oh, that's annoying.
Is the worst thing.
That's annoying.
That's the most cliche annoying. And then I feel like a pressure to be funny. And in my dating life, I have no interest. Like, I will be fun, but I have no interest in like being funny.
Well,
and
it's not a
silly.
stand-up routine on a date.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people think that.
Yeah, Erica has said, so my podcast co-host is a comedian.
Erica,
You
she's
guys
been
know
on.
her.
Been
Yeah,
on,
Erica,
yes, we
she's
love
amazing.
Erica.
she's incredible. She said the same thing about dating, that
Yeah.
like guys would be like, oh, to tell me a joke. Or apparently she was on vacation and her family made her stand up in the front of the family bus on vacation and tell jokes.
Oh my god,
That's annoying as
That's
hell.
insane. Her family sounds so fun though.
So her family is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I could get why that would be annoying for you.
So I don't include it.
That's fair.
And so I think people have asked in the past, what do you do?
Ah.
So that's not always great.
Yeah, we can do better with the questions. But I also think that we can judge less with the questions. Like, is that a great question that someone asked you? No.
No.
But a lot of people, I will ask a question and I've seen men come back and be like, that's what you're going to ask me?
Really?
I'm like, oh, not anymore. Question rescinded. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Like,
Just don't respond.
right. Yeah. You don't like it. You don't need to respond.
Do they think they're being flirty?
I think a lot of, specifically men, I think a lot of them think that like negging or like teasing in that way is like fun.
I've gotten that from women too.
Really?
Yeah,
So
we don't think
annoying.
it's fun.
I walk away.
It's not fun.
No,
It's not
I
fun
don't
at
think
all.
I don't really do it, and I don't think it's fun
I-
to receive.
No.
I can't stand it.
That
I also
energy.
don't understand why people on dating apps feel the need to say mean or negative things.
That, my other thing, so my two biggest tips for profiles. One, figure out what someone's going to say to you. Like if you
Yeah.
could not think of a question to ask yourself when you look at your profile, think again. Because
Okay.
then neither will someone
That
else.
is
Like if
good.
you can't think of something to ask yourself, how is a stranger going to think of something to ask you?
You can't just be like, I'm so pretty. I'm so beautiful.
Look at me.
That's because
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
sometimes
Well,
it's just people in front of walls.
Yeah.
Or like people in front of walls with their friends.
No, we need more interest.
Yes.
The second thing, though, is no negativity. We're going to, and I said that in a way that we're going to remove the word no
Uh-huh.
from our vocabulary on our apps.
Okay, now we're improving.
Hey,
All right, here we go.
yes,
I'm
and,
back in
baby.
it. I'm back in it.
We're
Give
yes,
her the
yes,
CTE.
and.
Wait, what did you
CTA.
say?
CTA is a
CTE
disease.
is a brain disease
Oh,
that football players get.
Give her the CTE too, okay? All CTA. Yes.
CTE, also bad.
Also bad.
Also bad.
Official stance of the pod.
CTE definitely bad.
Rob, bad?
CTE bad.
CTE bad.
Great. Three people say CTE is bad. Here we go. We're finding common grounds.
No, but
Yeah.
I think that the word no, it's literally, you said improv, but
Yeah.
similarly, right?
Yeah.
Like the yes and thing is so important.
Sure.
Yeah, you wanna build.
I hear people like, even if you don't, like, they're talking about golf. Even if you don't know about golf, say what you do know about it.
Sure.
Like, you know what's great about golf? I know nothing, but I watched it once. There's so much birds chirping. And there's not any of that in any other sport.
Because it's so quiet.
It's so quiet. And it's like outdoors. It's very tranquil.
Yes, I never realized that. I was forced to watch golf. I'm not a sports guy.
Ah.
And I was forced to watch golf one morning, and I was so high. I was on like a vacation. I don't normally get high in the morning. It was like a vacation.
You know what? We don't need to judge.
Okay, I was
fine.
high, and I was just watching, and I was just like, wow, I love the birds chirping.
It's funny that you say that because I have responded to men's profiles that talk about golf and talk about how it reminds me of Sunday afternoons with my dad on the couch where you could fall asleep for a while, wake up, and everything's the same.
Oh,
That's what I love about watching golf. You could take a nap in
Yeah.
the middle and miss nothing.
sure, the numbers might even be exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, everyone might
Yeah.
have just done the same strokes.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think saying yes to stuff is very important.
Yeah.
To keep the convo. I also say this. My rule is if I'm going to say I'm not into something, I'm going to provide something else to talk about.
Huge.
Because it's like when you ask someone to go out to eat. Be like, do you want to go here? No. Do you want to go there? No. All right, provide me with some sort of direction.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. So a lot of women are looking for men to plan dates.
Yes.
And I understand.
I get that
You
too.
want someone who plans the date. That's fine.
As a man, I love to plan a date. To make a
Great.
reservation makes me feel accomplished with a man that, as a person that has no accomplishment.
I love that for you.
As a
love that.
person who's
Small
just,
wins.
Open
Small
table
wins.
really coming through
Yeah.
for you.
Resi has made me feel taller than I ever have.
So
Yeah.
a lot of women want men to plan the dates, right? But then they will shoot down plans without alternatives. And we can't do
Yeah,
that.
which is annoying.
It's annoying. And you would be annoyed if your friend did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if we were trying to hang out
Yeah, yeah.
and I was like, hey, do you want to go to a movie? And you're like, no. Like, oh, I guess we're not hanging out.
What do you want to do? No, you pick. And
Yeah,
then it's like, all right, I just did pick.
I did, and
you said no. Yeah, it's
Even if
annoying.
they were like, no, I don't want to go movie. I would love something that we could talk more, or an activity we could do together.
Give me something.
Even a direction.
Give me something. Yeah, I really like a choose your own adventure date plan. So I actually went on a second date last night. And
all right,
my
congrats.
God.
Thank you. Thank you. This is actually the breaking news because I haven't even talked about it on my pod yet.
Okay. Is this what guy is this?
This is Speed Racer.
Speed Racer. Okay, we love that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just context. We gotta know.
Yeah. So we nickname all of our men on the pod for privacy.
Yes.
And because it's fun.
Yeah.
So I went on a second date
It is
last
fun.
night. It's very fun.
I've been doing that since high school.
It's very fun.
100%.
So he asked me. He gave me two options. He said, "What sounds more fun to you, axe throwing or mini golf?"
Oh,
I'm
is fun.
I love it. I picked axe throwing. I love a choose your own adventure. We went axe throwing. It was so fun.
Oh,
that is fun.
Was it a nice date?
It was a nice date. Yeah. I think it'll be a third. Get this,
you think
though.
So?
We are still talking in Bumble.
Oh, that's weird. Do you have each other's numbers?
No!
That's actually, that's a little weird.
Isn't it weird?
That is weird.
We planned a second date in Bumble.
Yeah. No Insta, no nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, you don't have his Insta?
No, I don't really like to do that anyway.
Okay.
That's not my thing.
That makes sense.
Sure, because you talk a lot about dating
also...
on Insta.
Well, even like I have a personal Instagram.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just not. I'm like, I don't really need to connect with you in that way if we're never going to see each other again. Like,
that's a good point.
Oh yeah, you know how many first dates I have that follow me?
I have zero because
Really?
I don't do it.
Yeah, that's great. You don't? You don't.
I'm not supposed to talk about this, but I'm not on the apps. So
Why
I don't know.
Why aren't you supposed to talk
Because
about
Sebastian's like, you always bring it up, but you brag like you're not on the apps.
Because he goes, I don't use the apps, but he has in the past.
I've used them.
So I'd say it's like a weird flex to be like,
I've
use
used them
apps.
twice on vacation.
So
fine.
I'm just saying he can't say I've never used the apps.
Oh, because he has.
Because he has.
I see.
Because I feel
I've
like
used
it's
the-
like
yes.
a hot guy thing that like I don't use the app. And I go, that's fucking bullshit. You have used the apps. So enough of your fucking propaganda.
I've used
You
them.
can say you're not currently on the app.
I'm not currently on the apps, and I have not really.
He makes me sound like a dictator.
No.
Like, listen.
I can't control. No. So I don't meet people that way that much.
Do you
So
meet
I
people at
wouldn't-
all? Or
Yeah, in person, I guess.
how?
I don't know. Somebody came up to me last night when I'm working. They're like asking for my number. I don't know. I meet people in the wild.
That's great.
I guess I
He's
go out to a
approachable.
bar. I think I am approachable.
So
I
you
think
don't
I give
approach-
approachable energy.
you don't
Yeah,
approach
sometimes. Yeah,
He never does.
sometimes.
Really?
I guess if you're like out with a group of people, like yesterday I was talking to a group, and then one of the people came up after.
Oh, okay.
So I'm talking
He's-
about my
you never-
Halloween costume. I'm just talking to a room of people, and then one of them was like trying to talk more.
You're never like
I
going
like it.
up to an individual person, being like, "Hey, what's up?"
Like, you look beautiful tonight. No, I'm not doing that stuff.
You didn't
Well, you don't have to use that line.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, miss. No, I'm not
You
doing
don't have
that.
to become a used car salesman.
Hey.
Hello, beautiful. How are you this lovely
I
evening?
couldn't help but notice you. No, I'm not doing that. I don't know. If you're like at the bar next to somebody, they're gonna drink. Maybe be like, oh, comment on what's going on in the moment. I guess I don't know. I would just be out a lot. I guess back in the day. Now Instagram though, people will DM on Instagram.
You're sliding in people's DMs on Instagram,
I'm
or
sometimes
you're receiving the
more
slides?
receiving slides. I would say.
Interesting.
What's
You
interesting
receive a
about
lot of
that?
slides.
Whoa, whoa,
Sebastian
whoa, what's
receives
interesting about
more
that?
slides than anyone.
There's such a like mismatch between the slides that men are getting and the slides that women are getting in heterosexual relationships.
Okay.
So like, or heterosexual dating. So
Uh-huh.
like the slides that men are getting from women
Yeah.
are very different. Like the slides that I'm getting are gross and weird.
No, they're so sweet.
It's
Literally
that's
the
what I'm
sweetest-
saying.
the sweetest
like when
people.
guys are like, "Oh yeah, like I go on dates with women that slide into my Instagram DMs." I'm like, "You do what?"
Yeah, no, they're the
Because
sweetest
the
people.
guys that try
Yeah.
to talk to us are
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
They're so weird.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry.
Somebody asked about my feet yesterday. Like it's just
Just out of nowhere.
yes,
I don't
So
like
it's
that.
completely just like sexualized.
yes, immediately.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
take the person out of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
completely.
No,
Yeah.
with us it's kind of
Completely.
the opposite, I would say.
Right. So
'Cause
that's
we're
why
talking, yeah,
you get
yeah.
the opportunity to go up people who DM slide.
Yes,
I-
100% now.
You don't.
No, I'm not
I
trying
have
to.
once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
nice.
I think it's great. I just
Yeah.
wish that I had any options in that arena.
That is annoying.
I know.
Mhm.
That is really annoying.
Yeah.
Because I do think Instagram is a great way to meet new people.
Totally.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah.
What is a good way that a person could slide in your DMs that isn't creepy?
I think literally just, hey, it could be so easy as I think you're really cute. I really liked what you said about this, or like I loved this picture.
It can't just be
Would love
about
to-
looks, though. I would say, right?
It could.
Cute over beautiful.
It could be,
'Cause you
yeah.
can't go, hey, you're really beautiful.
I think that could work too.
Okay.
If it's very sincere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like, I would love to get to know you more. Something
Oh.
like that. I think there has to be clarity, and your profile has to be public. This is a
This is a big
Oh.
rule. Yeah.
must.
Oh, I hate
Must.
oh, well, why don't you follow me back? I don't fucking know
I
you.
don't know you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think there's that, and it has to be really clear what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to guess, is this dude trying to hit on me, or is he just interested in my content? Like, what's the deal?
Okay.
I don't.
Totally.
I want to be clear.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just because you need to know, am I going to continue talking to you? I don't want an internet friend.
Nope.
No.
Certainly not.
You don't need an internet friend.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
Do not
Some
want,
people want to
need
just
nothing.
be internet friends.
Not me. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
I get that.
Yeah. I had a follower actually a woman slide into my DM saying she had someone to set me up with.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know her, but I
Yeah.
was like, okay, sure. Yeah, you
Sure.
follow me. You probably know my vibe. Like,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
hopefully.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So she connects me with this dude, private profile.
Okay.
So I have to follow him. So like now I'm
Yeah.
following this man that I've never met. The first thing he says, so I was like, oh, like, how do you know so-and-so? And he goes, we used to work together. She had a crush on me, even if she won't admit it.
Oh. Oof.
Yeah, that's a no.
Oof.
What?
You got one. He
That's
needs
so
to be like, oh
strange.
yeah, she's great.
Yes, literally.
That's the only link between the two of you.
That's
and
so
now,
weird.
So weird.
And now it's like she maybe felt like she couldn't. She's like, I'm projecting what I want onto this
or
person
he
that I
made it
follow.
up entirely.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, weird thing to
Yeah,
say.
it's weird.
Like, you know that we're being set up. Why are you talking about
Yeah,
this
it
other
just
woman?
ends the.
Don't talk about romantic situations
No,
with other people. On first
no.
dates, do you think you need to talk about exes on first dates?
No.
Never, right? Don't bring them up.
I'm okay if they come up incidentally.
Yes.
But-
So if it's like, oh, I was on vacation, I was here, and if someone goes, oh, who'd you go with?
My ex.
Yeah,
Fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. Or like, I'll get it a lot when I ask like, oh, what brought you to New York? And they'll say like, oh, I actually moved
interesting.
here with someone. We're no longer together. Fine.
That's great.
Fine.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as it wasn't like it was yesterday. You know? Like, we're no longer together, but we're still living together. Like,
That's important to know.
yes, it is.
I feel like people, because I had been single for a long time, people like to ask, like, oh, how long have you been single? When was your last relationship?
that
Like,
question.
you don't like that stuff.
I hate it.
Yeah.
People
I
love
don't
to
love
ask,
it.
what was your longest relationship?
I also
Yeah.
hate that. Why
Yeah.
is that relevant?
I think women, I think more women ask than men, and I think women want to know, are you able to commit?
Counterpoint.
Okay, I love this.
You committed, but then didn't.
Follow through?
Right, like if
Well,
you.
sometimes it's not our choice.
Well, fair. But like.
Sometimes we get
More
dumped.
More
We do
women
get
break up
dumped.
with men
Yeah,
in
true.
general.
Really?
So,
But-
yes.
Well,
Oh, I didn't
more
know
my
that.
point is that like it doesn't actually tell you anything. Like, sure, it says
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
I
in
see,
a
yeah.
2-year relationship, but
Yes.
like, and then what?
Yeah.
Not that like I want you to have been married, but like
No,
I don't think it gives you any information.
Yeah,
Then
I
why is
agree.
it such a popular question?
There are these popular
'Cause
questions.
I think they think it does. I think they think, oh well, if he was in one before, maybe he'll be in one with me. No,
Yeah.
it's unrelated.
I also think it's a red flag if a guy's like, I'm a relationship guy.
Oh yeah, if he's like, I
Yeah.
can't be by myself.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
anyone, that's true.
Yeah, I think, and in general, like being a relationship person isn't like, it's like I'll be the opposite of flattered if we start dating.
Oh yeah, you'll date anyone.
Yeah,
You're a serial monogamist.
yeah.
You're like, I need to be in a relationship, and you just happen to be there across the table when it happened.
yeah. That's why I'm trying to go a long time without dating anyone.
Oh, that's
I
why.
mean, I'm almost at 10 years.
I'm doing the spin job.
Yeah.
You told me this move.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm
You're
going
right.
a
This
long,
is my own doing.
I'm doing a long time trying to go. You're so special.
You have
That's-
no idea how special you are.
But you can't say that.
No, I know. I'm kidding, Rob.
No, because I've
You know he's
hinted
kidding,
at
right?
that. No, I do know,
I'm
but
literally using my silly voice.
no, I know. But because I've been single for a long time, and I'm kind of talking to somebody now, and I will be like, I shouldn't use that as an example
He's
of like
fumbling
how
over
much
the
I
words.
like the person to be like, I haven't liked anyone like this in that long. I feel
think
like
that's fine to say.
you think that is fine to say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think
Because it does put a lot of pressure. I feel like it's like I haven't liked anybody this much in 10 years. That's a lot.
maybe. I think it depends on how you phrase it. I
Okay.
think saying like I actually.
How you phrase? I love this. We gotta learn how to phrase it.
We're spinning
Our
everything here.
intent is
What do you
there.
got? I'll spin
Yeah.
it
Oh
for you.
my god.
I think I think that speaks to you being intentional about the types of relationships that you want to be in.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you probably could date someone.
Yeah,
if you
yeah, for
wanted to
sure.
date
At some point.
someone.
Yeah, if I wanted
Anyone
to have a
could date
girlfriend.
someone.
I think
Yes.
most people in a city, yeah.
Like
there's
if I wanted to
people,
go out and have a boyfriend tomorrow,
You could get one.
I probably could.
100%.
Who would that person be? We don't know,
It does. Yes,
but I could.
you could. And I think most people could. And I think I didn't realize that as like a teenager or a child. Like you don't realize anyone could just be married.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Anyone could be married.
Yes, we see this on 90 Day Fiancé all the time.
100%. Yes. We see it on Love is Blind.
Yes.
Sometimes they should say no.
Most times.
You were talking. You did an episode recently about like things that women should know about men.
Yes.
Which I loved. I thought it was great. What are things that men should know about women?
Oh, good question. I think so. We had looked at this like whole Reddit thread, which generally is the armpit of the universe, of the internet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But this particular thread was useful.
I know it's one of the more dangerous apps to see on a man's phone. Reddit.
Literally, I was dating a guy. I will answer your question, but I was dating a guy who would constantly send me Reddit posts, and they were like cute animals. But I'm like, but the fact that Reddit is your go-to is concerning.
Yes.
I'm nervous about this.
Go on TikTok.
Yeah. Go anywhere else.
Yes. Which is funny because there's just as much toxic on TikTok.
Yeah, but somehow Reddit.
I know. It's like the words, it's the fonts. It's just
so bad.
it's so cold.
It's very masculine.
It's very bad. It's
Yeah.
very bad.
There's just no aesthetic to it at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so what men should know about women? So first of all, this should go without saying, but like obviously everything is a generalization.
100%.
Yes. This is what I loved about your content.
Yeah, so I think Erica's always like, everyone knows that. I'm like, but I want to say it anyway.
I know. Robbie
I
says
agree.
that to me.
I do that stuff sometimes.
Because I'll just be saying, all people from Staten Island. Right? I'm just being wild.
Yeah, but so, and the reason that I say that too is because I think it's so important to ask people what they want, ask people what they're feeling, and not
Yes.
make assumptions based on generalizations, which I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
Like a lot of women will be like, oh, why hasn't he done XYZ? I don't know, ask him. Why are you asking me? You're asking the
that's a
wrong
good-
person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that being said,
Okay.
I think that generally speaking, the way that we socialize men as they're growing up, like little boys, the way that we socialize little girls, very different.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times with women, we have been socialized to connect with our emotions more than men are, but also to have those emotions be tied to what other people are doing. So like people pleasing, or, thinking that, oh, someone's upset, I must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
I think women, or like girls really, are socialized to think that other people's feelings are on them way more than men. And that ends up turning into a lot of anxieties and a lot of like anxious attachment for women because they're like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, I must have done something wrong. Or so-and-so's upset, what can I do to fix it?
So it's stuff that has nothing to do with you. You'll put like
On yourself.
that's really hard.
Yeah, very.
Because most of the time for things like that, it has to do with your grow up and the patterns and your coping mechanisms and the things that you've learned to like
Right.
deal with life.
Right. So I think a lot of men get frustrated with women for that. Or like because they don't understand. Like they're like, oh, but that's nothing to do with you. Or, like I'm just going through this thing at work, like nothing to do with you. But like I think there's a compartmentalization that generally is easier for men than for women.
I get that. Like I know that like I have anxiety and stuff like that, and I know that like being anxious about what you did to someone or like what you might have said did they say that's because of that is torturing yourself.
Yeah.
It's an anxiety I wish upon no one.
It's awful.
Because there's usually no answers to it. Because most of the time it's people you're not close with. It's
Completely.
like, why did you text me this? Maybe that's why I don't like texting.
Oh yeah, because the tone.
Because I don't
You
know
don't
the
have
tone.
tone.
I don't
yeah, there's
know.
a lot of
I
variables.
can't ask a follow up quickly. I can't like get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We did a lot of hard work. here tonight.
We're uncovering. But I think so. That's not true about all. Like obviously, like men struggle with this too.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
that there's a lot of that goes into it, and I think we could just understand each other better.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think that like it's hard, but like in dating, people should be like, this is the things I struggle with.
Yes.
I think like laying it out on the line, being like, these are the things I have a hard time with, and I might be slow in these regards or need support here. And they can make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think like laying it all on the line and being like, make your decisions based on the truths I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Is like something that I think is good.
Yeah, because no one's saying, so let's say you said to somebody, I really don't prefer texting I would prefer phone calls. I don't have to accept that as in the person
100%.
I'm dating. I could be like, you know what? That's not going to work for me.
And that's fine.
Which a lot of people don't do.
That I think is the problem.
Because they like other things, or it's like, if this is going to end up being a deal breaker, it's going to be a deal breaker.
Let's decide now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll adjust themselves.
Right.
To lose yourself in a relationship is one of the worst things ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we've all done it. I mean,
Yeah.
or at least I know I have.
We've all
Yeah.
done
I
it.
won't speak for
I
the
mean,
table, but I know I have.
No, you can speak
You
for
can
the
speak for
table.
the
Do you have
It's
one
been
of
a while.
Do you have
but
one of those
yes.
rings, the rings that you face out when you're single and in? Or
No, it
Oh.
looks like one of those.
Oh, I
though,
thought that's
but
what it was.
No.
I was like, oh, that's cool. I love those. What do you know what those are called?
So, they start with a C. It's an Irish
Yeah,
thing.
It's an Irish ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember what it's called. But have you guys heard of the pear ring?
I've seen advertisements for it, but I've never like seen anyone with one.
And that's the problem. So I bought one.
Okay.
Biggest scam on the planet. These
Okay.
people are they're printing money. They're printing money.
I love the idea.
It's a great idea, but no one's wearing them.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was just going to say about the Irish. I don't know what it is. So
Wait,
I
explain
wouldn't
the pear
know
ring,
either way.
too.
Okay.
So the pear ring is like, literally it's a silicone ring. It's like the
Okay.
dumbest thing you've ever seen,
Yeah.
construction wise.
Yes.
It's
ugly.
It's like mint green, so it's
Yeah.
like a different color, so whatever. And then they have another color, I believe, purple for LGBTQ.
Mhm.
And so you're supposed to wear it as an indication that you're single and open to being approached.
Yeah,
Okay.
which in theory is great. It's the same thing as the Irish rings. So if it's faced out, that means you're looking to give to your heart to someone.
You're open.
Faced in means you're taken, like that
Yeah.
you're with someone.
Yeah.
Which is great because I've noticed girls at bars with their rings facing directions. I go, this is a great
There you
like
go.
if you're at a
Oh, wow.
Peruvian steakhouse, the
Yeah,
green
yeah,
and the
yeah,
red,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
More
yeah,
meat,
yeah,
less
yeah,
meat.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Brazilian.
use a meat.
I think
Brazilian. I didn't mean to use a meat analogy.
More meat, please.
See this? I wish the analogy.
Not the worst analogy.
Not the worst.
They need to do like a Super Bowl commercial or something. Like let a lot of people see
There
this.
has been, but you've seen the advertisements.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I
they're
haven't
out
seen it,
there, but
okay.
like people. So I wore mine for about
Okay.
3 weeks.
Okay.
I didn't see a single other person wearing one, and I was looking. Like I was looking
Yeah.
at everyone's hands. Like this is
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, and no one approached.
No.
Yeah, they need to like campaign in one city at a time.
Yeah.
It can't just be general United. It has
That
to be
is
like
smart.
everyone in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah, they got start small.
Yes.
I think they started in New York City and London. I think that was a mistake.
100%.
They went too big too fast.
Go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Like do some place that like it'll be like, oh, this is a thing in our city.
You can make an impact faster.
And then when you visit, you can rent a ring.
Amazing.
Oh, that would be good.
What can I
This
say?
is
Maybe
Great. Maybe you should be a marketing.
Yeah.
Get me in the boardroom. Get me in the boardroom.
That is a good idea.
You
Right.
teach him a guy about CTA. Next thing you know, he's like,
Yeah. He's selling stuff at the airport.
I do think that New York is too big.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like because I did think I was like, oh, that's such a great idea because I do like seeing people out and about.
Yes, and their premise was based on research that shows that some high percent, I forget, of singles are open to being approached in the wild. It's like,
Yeah.
no
Oh,
shit,
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
totally open to it.
Yes.
but no one's doing it.
Yeah, and that gives you like, oh, I would like to be approached.
Yeah, and I do think that this is something that is a bigger struggle for men than women. That if a woman were to walk up to you, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to be creepy.
No.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I would even venture to say 99 times out of 100. It's
I
not
would
gonna
say,
be
yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
Similar
Yeah.
to the DM slide.
Yes.
Yes.
But a guy walking up to a woman,
Yeah.
there is a very high chance that she's going to be like, absolutely not get away from me.
Yeah.
And that's because there are real safety concerns. Like,
Yeah.
there's,
100%.
so the ring would help.
I think online I've seen a couple of videos that help guys, and it's almost comical, like how they teach guys how to approach a woman in the wild. They're like, never approach her from behind. like the advice that
Yeah,
they give
yeah.
men are like,
It's like about cats.
It's like never hold knives. It's like, what are we doing here? It's like, yes, it's truly like they've never known how to interact with the person. They're like, when you are going to approach a woman, walk from a distance that is comfortable to stand away from someone. Don't be too close. Wave at her before you go near her. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What are you supposed to say? Because like I don't know this person at all, so it is
Depends where you are.
all vanity, I guess. To be just like go right up to, because I don't want to ever be creepy.
I think it's.
So I'm like, all right, I'm just.
I
if
think
she
it's
likes me,
contextual about
okay.
where you're at.
Yeah.
So like, let's say we'll use the bar analogy that you did, right? So
Okay.
like, let's say we're both next to each other, we're at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Something as simple as like, oh, what are you drinking, or what what,
Oh, that I'll do.
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing.
But like coming up to her on the street, like
the
that's just you don't ever
street's
approach.
hard.
Or the subway.
People are moving. Don't
The
get
That's
gym,
the
I don't
motion.
do. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah,
To stop motion is hard.
that's the problem with the
Yeah.
street is if I'm walking and I'm like, oh, like I don't want
Yeah.
to do that. The gym, I think you could do.
The gym.
Yeah, don't do it while they're actively working out. Like, don't come up to me
Yeah.
when I'm trying to lift something.
Yeah. Hey, do you need a spot?
Also, yeah. But on that note, though, we're not gonna form correct. We're not gonna give advice because that's happened to me. I no longer work out in a public gym, which is one of the reasons. Also, because I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah, I got that.
But one of the things that would infuriate me, I played sports, played in college. I know what I'm doing.
You did? What'd you play?
And volleyball.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so I would be in a gym doing something, and I'd have guys come up to me and be like, "Honey," and they'd be like, "Oh, you should really lift like this. You should really do this." I'm like, you should really go away.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, Jesus, I can't stand that shit.
Yeah. So don't do that. But I don't think that means the gym's off limits.
Yeah. I work at the gym, so probably
That
for
might
me.
be off limits.
Yeah, that's
But-
off limits.
yeah,
That's
off limits,
different.
Robert.
That's different.
Yeah,
You can't flirt with people at the gym.
Well, that's
or
what happened last
with
night.
me.
I'm working,
Oh.
but I
Yeah.
can't flirt with you at the gym.
No, I meant here. You can't flirt with me here.
At work.
Yeah,
At work. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
so
Right.
Don't
right,
you dare
right,
start
right,
trying to
right.
flirt with me,
All right,
okay?
so-
Playing footsie under the table.
No,
Stop that.
No, we have to get a metal bar in between us.
It's a professional environment. For God's sake.
Yeah, I think the gym is hard in some ways. As a person that like, if I get to the gym, that's a win. I like don't want it to be like I don't want to talk to anyone there.
I think if you're trying to meet somebody at the gym, I would say start to go at the same time every
Yeah.
week. Because then once you are familiar with a person that you've seen multiple times, I think it feels different.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or if a class, like you go to a class
Yeah.
every week, that's a
Yeah.
little different
Then you
too.
can start to be like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Like you can start to say hi to the person
a
first.
class is good.
Yeah, I would go to a class back in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
Like every week, the same time. And you see the
Exactly.
same people, you see the same instructors, and it is kind of like you meet the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's almost like a Spanish, like a Spanish class that
Maybe
you
you'll
said you
meet
want to
someone in
take.
your Spanish class.
That's why I used to be out doing classes, doing stuff, and you would meet people. Like the more you put yourself in these situations where you are exposed to people over a long period of time, and they kind of get to see you before you're like immediately it's a dating environment. It works out better, I feel like.
That's my recommendation for people meeting people in the wild is always to do things that happen over a longer period of
I
time.
100%
Yeah.
The
agree.
pressu's not as high.
Yes.
Sure, it could just be a
Versus-
small chit chat first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
and you don't have to go from like, let's say you go to a singles mixer.
Uh,
At that singles mixer, you have to go from strangers to exchanging numbers in the course of like what, 2 hours?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's stressful.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Versus something that happens over a longer period of time where you can chit chat, you can maybe then eventually be like, hey, we should get a drink afterwards. Like you can take little steps.
Yeah.
This is great advice.
No, thanks.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are very excited to have our sponsors back with us, Sunset Lake CBD. You know them, you love them. They have so many great products over there. We are excited to be working with them again. Sunset Lake is a great brand. If you want to check out some CBD, they have so many great products from. I just used some of the body lotion right before the episode, and the whole room instantly smelled like mentholy, right?
Yeah, it smells good. The lotion's nice.
It literally has. Sometimes it's so powerful, that beautiful smell. You gonna use some now?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm
Such a
smelling
child. I almost thought you were gonna put it in your nose.
No.
It's like
smell.
yeah. It's like that thing. If you smell your hand and you're a loser, you have some on your nose, bro. Wipe your face. Sunset Lake has so many great products. Check out. They have oils. They got lotions. They got those good vibe gummies. If you're really looking to chill, they're really good. Very mild for people that aren't experienced in partaking in extracurricular activities, which I really enjoy. Also, if you use the promo code LOUD, 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 you get 20% off your entire purchase. So if you're looking for some sleep gummies, if you're looking for some lotion, some some rub for some sore muscles or just getting a little funky with those good vibes, use the promo code LOUD at Sunset Lake CBD to get 20% off your entire purchase. Beautiful. All right, back to the show. So I think today everyone has there's like this whole idea of like commitment. People have problems with committing because everyone thinks that we have all the options in the world now with the internet. What do we do about this? Can you solve this major dating issue on the podcast?
I can. Actually, it's funny you asked.
No, like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you have any like ways to combat that? Any like tactics that you use or tell people?
I mean, so technically, yes, we have all of the options in the world, and but
we don't.
No,
we don't. We literally,
Dudes be thinking we have all the options in the world.
Yeah.
They'll follow someone with 1 million followers and be like, hey, maybe one day.
Yeah.
Eric and I talked about that recently, where we're talking about like dudes sliding into like Rihanna's DMs. But like, would you care if your boyfriend is like, you DM Rihanna. If she replies, I'll be happy for you.
Yeah.
I truly, if Rihanna replies to you, I'm gonna be happy.
Sure. Yeah.
You're like, oh, Rihanna likes my man. But I think one of the issues with dating apps is that like, oh, when she's in the bathroom, I could be swiping more, or like when right after the date, I can get back on the dating apps.
You cannot use a dating app during a date.
I mean, that's wild.
No,
you cannot. You know what? Just get it off your screen.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just take it off your fucking screen.
Agreed.
If you're like, I instinctually like am swiping during all the time, just get it off your screen.
Agreed.
Oh, during a date.
Agreed. And that swiping all the time thing is actually something I think can help people combat this feeling of, oh, there's always something better out there. Try not to, the minute a date is over, go right back on the app. Give yourself some space.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the things that I think makes us feel like, oh, maybe the grass is greener over there. Maybe there's like, that was an okay day, but maybe there's something better.
Yeah.
And that, I think, creates that.
Yeah, I do think it's a problem. Because I think you want to find someone, but I do think that for me, love is like a choice. Like, absolutely. I'm choosing to love you. I'm opening myself up. This is an option. Like, I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable and love you. It's not like we're sold this like myth that it just happens.
No, it does
not. And it rushes upon you, and it's like, I can't, like, that's toxic.
Yes.
Like, the way that we're taught about love is toxic. I do think that it's like, I'm choosing to love and commit to you. And with time, that will grow and that will become different types of love. And I think that with all these options, we don't need to choose to love anyone. And then we're alone and we're crying in our bedrooms.
I feel like you could get
that took a turn.
No, I'm sorry. No, I just think like, I think that we like lose that idea.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Of like, to choose to love someone's a beautiful thing.
There's a phrase of, they're like, grass is always greener. There's a spin on that I'm probably going to get a little bit wrong, but it's like the grass is always greener where you water it.
Oh.
And I think that I try to remember that a lot because I think we can always be like, oh, they have it so much better over there, or maybe the next guy on Hinge is going to be even better than the guy I just went out with, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But to your point, love is a choice, and you're going to have to work to merge two lives together is really hard.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Hard, but hopefully worth it if it's the right person.
Absolutely.
And if it's the wrong, then hopefully you learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that people like just think, I guess even me, I'm like, what do I keep my options open? What are the options?
What are these options?
Yeah. What are the options? Right? Like, it's this idea of like, I guess my dad, he goes, I don't envy dating world now. He goes, it was much easier when I was young.
Yeah.
He's like, there was just people in my neighborhood and we went out with them.
Yep.
It was this family, this family, this family, and then we'd see people at a show. We'd ask them out, and that'd be it.
Well, there have actually been studies about how people are happier with the choice they've made. This is true not just in dating. People are happier with the choice they've made when they had fewer options than they are with the choice they've made when they had more.
Which makes sense.
It makes sense. Like they've done it with like grocery stores.
You turned more things down.
Exactly. You're always thinking about, I chose this peanut butter. I had 50 other peanut butter options I could have chosen versus if you only give me
Skippy.
Yeah, if you give me two options, I am confident I choose Skippy.
Yeah, that is interesting. I think that as humans, when I teach improv, I'm like, we want to feel like we want all the options in the world. But like limitation, as soon as we start limiting our options, it becomes more fun to play a scene. Right?
Oh, interesting.
And if you like, there's a study of like, if you want to see an artist's skill, and real creativity, you don't give them a piece of paper and say draw anything. You give them a piece of paper and say draw a penny. And everyone will draw it in their own specific way. So lack of like choice actually forms like creativity and happiness, and like you end up working with what you have.
I love that.
Yeah.
I might take that and start using it.
Please do.
I love that.
I never get like nerdy about improv stuff, but I do think it applies to dating.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, that is a
definitely.
great analogy.
It makes me a great first date.
Well, I was gonna say the rush and the choice, I think, are two different things. I think like you could have the rush, you still need to make the choice. Like if you get this rush on a first date and it's all good, you still need to like choose to then commit to the person.
Yeah, very
Like
true.
everything, like even good friendships take work. Like if you don't work on, like if you're not putting time into a friendship, you're gonna grow apart.
Yeah.
Like anything that you want that's gonna give you value and like meaningful, I don't know, just feel good, you have to put time and effort into.
It's very true. I also think people are mistaking that rush, like that spark,
Yeah.
for like love, or they're mistaking it for like, oh, this means
Yeah.
this is the right person for me. For me, that's always been anxiety. Like that.
Oh, you get the
feeling-
rush.
Yeah, like
That's what
that
we see in
feeling.
movies, because that's what's entertaining. You're not
Right.
gonna show somebody being like, all right, we gotta go through our finances.
Yeah,
we gotta
you're
commit.
like,
Like that's
oh,
not
not
love
sexy.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's always, for me, that's always been a sign of anxiety. If I'm
Okay.
feeling those butterflies, that is not good.
It
It means
I
I'm
get
nervous.
that,
It means I don't know what's going to happen. It means I'm worried about the outcome.
because you do like them. And
Right.
it's like, all right, this is somebody I would, and I know the feelings that are gonna come after this.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish media was different.
Same.
Yeah. But it'd be boring.
It
I don't want to watch
wouldn't- yeah,
a
it
movie
wouldn't be
that
as
they're just like-
entertaining.
Yeah.
I get that.
You don't want to watch
You
the
want to
woman
see
going.
the sparks.
Yeah, like you don't want to watch someone go out and be like, hey, he was all right. I'll go out with him again.
Yeah.
But then
and then they
someone
go
needs
out
to
again, and
teach-
then they go out again, and then
I
they
guess that's
fall
what
in
you're
love.
doing.
I'm
and-
doing it. And here
That's
we
what
are.
we're doing right now.
You're right. I love that. So as like so when you're like are finally deciding to choose someone,
Mhm.
right? There's this idea that like it's so fucking toxic, but like that women, as soon as like there's this whole like side of TikTok and Instagram that like it's like once a man chooses a woman, she's like, I don't like him anymore. Have you heard this idea?
Yes.
Is
and it
this real?
It's toxic. I'm sure it is real for some women.
Yeah.
I'm positive that there are women out there who also like the chase.
Yes.
And who a guy that is being consistent, and that is not exciting.
Yeah.
Like you were saying about like the rush and all of that, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
goes away, quote unquote,
Yeah.
when somebody's like, hey, I like you and I want to date you.
Which I feel like you should try to still make it fun and interesting, and
Yeah.
like you could try to be exciting in the realms of commitment. I would hope that I'm able to do that.
Same.
Yeah.
But I think that yes, it is true that there are women out there that are feeling that way.
Yeah.
Don't date those women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
similarly, there are guys out there who are just looking for the
100%.
chase, and the
100%.
minute you commit to him, or the minute you sleep with them, or the minute you whatever, they're going to be uninterested. Don't date those men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would, if I was like, all right, I want to commit to this, and then they just pulled away, I'd be like, all right, now we're done.
Guess-
I
I
made
guess
an
you don't.
intentional decision to
Mhm.
try to do this, and if that's not going to be it anymore, I'll go back to being,
It must be so annoying for women that want to commit to have other people like that. Just like,
Yeah, well, I think like the people that are out there acting toxic are really ruining it for everybody else in a
Sure.
lot of different
yeah,
ways.
in every
Yes,
way.
in every way.
Men,
Yeah,
women, yeah,
in
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
different ways.
That's
Yeah,
what kind of
yeah.
makes these rules come about in a way. It's like, all right, we got to set these rules around these people. But it's like, not
Ah.
everyone is toxic.
Right.
We don't need to create, like, if you just have clear communication throughout, hopefully
Yeah.
that will take you to a place that you're happy, I feel
Yeah,
like.
and your own boundaries and your own standards of what you do and don't want in a
100%.
relationship. And if someone doesn't meet that, that's fine, but you
Yeah.
don't date them.
do you
And
fe-
voicing them.
Yeah.
Do you feel a lot of pressure to be dating because of your?
Sometimes. I used to
Yeah.
more, because we do get, the comments or the
Yeah.
feedback of like, oh, they never go on any dates. But then when we do go on a lot of dates, like, man, they go on a lot of dates.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can't win.
You can't win,
Yeah.
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 That's
Can't
annoying.
win.
I know.
So I used to, I think when I first started my account, when I first started podcasting, I felt more pressure. It's one of the reasons why I actually expanded the content that I do on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever to be my life also.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
part of my thing is like, yeah, I'm single and I want a long-term partner, but also my life is awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I
yes.
have great friends and I do cool shit.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
here are all the other things that I do.
You just went to Europe.
I did.
You literally
Yeah.
took amazing trips with people that follow you.
It was so cool. And
That's
last
so
weekend
cool.
they all came here for a reunion.
I saw you were taking pictures. But you took them to Brooklyn Bridge Park.
Yeah, we went there. We went to Red Hook. We went to a
Oh.
comedy show.
That's so fun.
Oh,
We had so much fun, and it was all because we met on this trip to Greece because
Mhm.
it was a bunch of women who were like, you know what, I want people to travel with. My friends don't want to do it, or my friends are married, or whatever. And so we all went together.
you hit your 30s. You go, who do I take nice vacations with?
Exactly.
It's a weird thing because like most of your friends are getting married or with their partner, and you can't be like, yo, bro, you want to come to Italy with me? And be like, I'm married.
Yeah, right.
What are you talking?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
Blah blah's gonna be so pissed if we're doing a boys trip to Italy.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that.
Yeah, so that's why I coordinated that trip, and we've got
Yeah.
more coming up. But that's, I think, one of the reasons why I started expanding in that way is because if I feel pressure to date, I'm sure that other people are feeling this way, and I want to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm clear that my life has a lot more to it.
With like the holidays coming up, do you have advice for single people going home for like Thanksgiving or like the like Christmas, Hanukkah?
I think don't be afraid to set boundaries with your family about what you do and don't want to talk about.
Beforehand or while you're there?
Either way, I think that depends on the dynamic of your
Yeah.
family.
Sure. Yes.
Question
Um,
one, you could just be like, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm shutting
right?
this down. No more questions.
'Cause-
And I'm not talking about this
Right,
topic.
like I think it's so easy.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Easy is the wrong word because it's hard to set boundaries, especially with family. But
Oh yeah.
it could be
Extremely.
as simple
Thank
doesn't
you.
necessarily mean easy.
Yes.
It could be as simple as saying, I don't really want to talk about dating right now. Like I appreciate you. I know you have my best interest at heart. I don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
And don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah. I just say I'm good. I don't need, if my aunt's asking me, I'm like, I don't need your advice. I don't.
Because they love that.
Yeah, I
they
just
don't know
don't
what
need
to
your
talk about
advice.
with
Like,
you sometimes.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, what's going on here?
So you actually segued nicely into my next suggestion, which is
Uh-huh.
have things that you would like to bring up.
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
we talk about this too.
We've talked about this. Like,
Just,
if
like,
you don't want to talk about politics, you don't want to talk about
come
dating,
up with debates.
you got fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk
I
about
tried this new
BLTs.
sandwich. I went to this movie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Similarly to when you guys were saying, like, if you don't want the do that date plan, suggest something different. Same thing.
Yeah.
If you don't want to talk about that, let's talk about this.
You can't just say no and then sit there.
You're right. Sit there silently. Don't speak to
Never
me.
tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Also, what are your thoughts on like if you just started dating someone to talk about them at like a Thanksgiving?
I'm probably not the best example because I talk about my first dates to the world and strangers.
Yeah.
You are so
Um,
right.
But I did previously talk to my family like, oh, I'm going on a first date. I'm,
You
doing
say
this.
that.
Yeah, because I actually think for me it has helped desensitize them to not put so much weight on every single person I go out with. To be like,
Yeah.
I'm going on a first date. I'm going on a first date, and to like not have them like hang the moon on every guy
That is
I
good.
go out with.
Yeah.
But other families that might backfire.
Yeah, I can't tell my parents nothing.
Yeah.
My sisters occasionally will be like, "Well, I know he did this." I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah. I've been talking to
Or
somebody
Robbie will
I've
come
been-
over
I mean,
and
I know
he'll drop some shit to my parents. He'll be like, "Well, Sebastian had a night the other night." I'm like, "What are you
No,
doing,
I'm not
bro?"
doing that. I'm not doing
What do you
that.
mean you're not doing that? You've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah!
maybe.
Can you believe it?
I'm not doing that.
One
Yeah,
or-
I did do that.
You've done it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not trying to out you on new things, but
So have you told
Sebastian
your
will
parents
also
about
then
this person
just
you're dating?
no, not at all.
See, not I would never do
Three-
it in turn.
3-ish months, I guess we've been talking.
What does that mean? What does it mean when you say you've been talking to someone?
She doesn't live in New York, so
Oh, that's tough.
we met in New York, and then she doesn't live in New York. So, but
So literally talking.
yeah,
What
talking
are
on
your
the
thoughts on long
phone.
distance?
I've done it before. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
I think it can work, but
I think the intention was that she is gonna move here eventually.
that's the thing is you
Yeah.
have to be much more intentional about
Yeah.
it, and I think there needs to be an end in sight.
Yeah.
Like not just like we're gonna be long distance forever.
No,
not gonna work.
that's yeah.
Yeah, that's not reality.
Also, yeah, I don't have time to actually date like on a weekly basis in New York. I feel like so. I was like, oh, it was nice. I mean, but then I'm on the phone 10 hours a week, so it's like I have
do
this
have
time. But this is time at 10 p.m. that I'm on the phone.
But people are understanding.
Yeah, no, I know people are understanding.
There's a lot of people that work bar jobs or work
Nah.
or servers
And I
and
could
stuff
go
like
sit at a
that,
bar.
that they want to hang out later
No, you're right.
in the
Yeah.
evening.
But-
Later in the evening doesn't mean more like sexual. first.
Yeah.
No, I think it depends on your schedule.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah,
all it
yeah.
is.
Also,
It's
the
yeah.
person's like lifestyle. Yeah.
Like I'm asleep, but like
Yeah.
if you're not, that's great.
yeah.
That's totally great.
No, I told my brother that was it.
Okay.
But not my sister lives where she lives, so I'm like, I could go see my sister. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Third dates. You're
Uh-huh.
going on your third dates. Are there
Yeah.
expectations around the third dates? That's always like a thing.
I don't think it should be a thing
I don't think so either.
What is there a thing about third dates?
You've never heard this?
No.
to sleep with someone on a third date.
Oh,
Or
no,
like
I
wait
didn't-
until.
No,
You've
no.
never heard this?
No.
Oh,
This is like huge. This
Third
is,
date?
it's like the thing.
Yeah,
The thing
this
is
is like-
the third date. I'm
Yeah.
not in the rules world. I'm not on the. I'm
Well,
just.
I don't have the
living-
rules.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like in movies. This was in like all
Movies
the
is the third date.
rom-coms.
All right, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's bullshit. Like I don't
Okay.
think.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I do agree too.
Because it's arbitrary, first
Yeah.
of all, which a lot of these
100%.
rules are. But like, I have felt on different third dates I've been on, wildly different with one person versus another. Where like
Yeah.
I've felt ready to sleep with someone on date 2, I've felt not ready on date 5,
Mm-hmm.
and yet still ended up dating those people. Like
Okay.
it didn't have any
Oh.
bearing on how I ultimately felt, or didn't always have a bearing on how I ultimately felt.
Yeah, I think that rule's hard. I think it adds just pressure. We don't need
Yes.
that.
No, we do not. We have
Yeah.
enough.
We could literally go. We could hang out all night and just be like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Or the first date may be magical and you want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that rule is such. I can't believe you didn't know that, Robbie.
No, I mean, I guess maybe I've heard third date. I don't know. 5 dates. I've heard people say different things about when you're supposed to have like.
I just don't think there's any supposed
It's supposed to be a communication,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like how you
Yeah.
feel in the moment? I
Yes.
mean, I'm like, I want to stop having one night stands. I think.
I think that's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sebastian doesn't.
I'm pretty good with that.
He's
I'm
like,
also 34.
and he's like,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
stranger.
34.
Like
What do I need? I don't need
Yeah.
a
I don't
stranger
need it.
coming over.
yeah.
Like I don't
I'm
know them.
done.
What if we get along so horribly and then our lives are connected forever because something
Yeah.
an accident happens or something, you know?
Yeah, you just. I'm not into it either.
Yeah, my 20s, I definitely, because I wasn't dating,
Mhm.
and I didn't have a girl so if I was to hook up, it'd be somebody I met out that night, and then we would go back, whatever. So that was like a lot of my, once every few months, I have a one night stand.
You're out on that now.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think
I love that.
it's
I support
complete
that.
strangers.
I-
It's-
yes.
I never really
Yes, it
thought of
is.
it like that until Sebastian kind of put it into perspective a little bit. Because
Yeah.
his reasoning for not, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of
That
sense.
makes a lot of sense.
The worst case scenario
Yeah.
is I get like they become pregnant.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I'm attached to this person I don't know for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I guess I was just early 20s,
Like
not
that's
thinking
my
about
the
stakes.
scariest thing.
Yeah.
It's not like
Absolutely.
you use a condom, but
Sure,
like
but shit happens.
Yeah, yeah,
shit
use a condom,
happens,
but
like,
yeah.
it falls off with it, you know, I don't need to go.
Or you gotta
we
do-
don't need. Yeah, we
Yes.
understand.
There's STDs.
But-
yeah, we don't need to be.
But it's not
Yeah.
even like an STD I could
Yes,
almost handle.
yes.
Like it's the forever with a person that I don't know.
Yeah.
And like parenting with a person like that's terrifying.
Yeah. No, he sold me.
It makes
I'm
a lot
totally
of sense.
out. Yeah.
For me, like I know about myself that
Yeah.
when I sleep with someone, I get more emotionally invested in them.
Okay.
Like that's true for a lot of people, especially
Yeah,
women, but
yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so because I know that doesn't mean I've always remembered that. But
100%.
Yeah.
You've had to learn that.
I've had
Yeah,
to learn
yeah,
that.
Yes.
Or I always knew it, but I had to learn the consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think about now when I'm dating someone and deciding whether I feel comfortable going there yet. It's not about, how many dates have we been on? It's like, okay, I know that when this happens, my emotional attachment is going to go up.
Yeah.
Am I comfortable with that right now?
That's great foresight. That's a great way to like think about it. It's not even about the act. It's about what happens after.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Because there are consequences to sex
Yeah.
and not like emotional.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I also want to make sure that I'm going to be comfortable communicating those things to this person.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, like now that, from either whether it's a safety perspective, whether it's emotional attachment, whatever it is,
Yeah.
if I don't feel comfortable having that conversation with somebody, then I am not ready.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's great. I'm happy that you're
I'm
standing. I'm happy
out.
that you're
Yeah,
saying
I'm
this on
out.
a public platform.
I'm out. 30 years old. I'm like, I never need to do this again.
Can I say one thing about dating that I wish didn't exist?
Yes.
On a first or second date, someone being like, "Oh, do you want to do this again?" when you're in person.
That's really hard.
I don't think that we should have that conversation in the moment. I think you could go, "I had a great time," and the other person goes, "I had a great time too."
I like that. I like reinforcing that we had fun.
Yes.
Reinforcing this is great. You know, whatever it is.
I'm scared. I'm probably not gonna want to look at you in a new person in the eye and go, I don't want to see you again.
And I don't think you should.
I don't think anyone needs to. I
No.
think that's above and beyond what someone has to do for a first date.
I agree. And I also understand when somebody says that, if you want to tell a little white lie in the moment and be like, yeah, and then like follow up later, do not ghost them, follow up later.
Yes.
But
Especially if they say that.
yes. Yeah. But I agree with you. I don't think we need to do that. I think it puts a lot of pressure on the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a thing. Be like, did they ask? Did you make plans already? It shouldn't be a question. Did you make plans for a second date right after the first?
I've had guys try to literally schedule it on the first date where they're like, no, okay, like, when are you free? Next Wednesday, next Thursday? And now I'm like, I gotta put my calendar out right now. I don't know.
I do this thing. I have a paper calendar, and it's always at home.
You have a paper calendar?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I would think you were lying if you said that to me.
I do in the kitchen. Really?
I believe you in this moment because you have no reason to lie to me. But
no reason to lie to you.
But like, if we it'd be weird.
No, I'll show you after the pod. Which is annoying for you because we can't do Google Cal together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a Google Calendar, so if I was more organized, it might be annoying.
Oh, I could never.
Yeah, I just started doing paper calendar. And then I tell people, I gotta, it's more for like people asking me if I'm available to do like other comedy stuff. And me going, let me check, I have to go home and check my calendar.
Wow.
It's like I struggle with those boundaries. So I've set like an obstacle in the way.
Okay, I have to respect that.
But you wouldn't believe me in the
No,
moment.
I would not. I would think you were lying.
Would you say it? Would you say I think you're lying?
Ooh, no, I don't think I would.
But then you would go, but you would tell all your friends.
Correct. And the whole world
And the
on my
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Could you believe this man with his paper fucking calendar?
He has a paper calendar.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not lying. Sometimes I set that in because I don't want to just people please.
I understand the not wanting to commit in the moment.
Oh,
like
God.
I have said something along the lines of like, you know, I'm still figuring out next week.
Yeah.
Like, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of first dates end at like 2 a.m. So it's like, yeah, we'll do this again. It starts at 8 p.m. We end at 2 a.m.
It's too long for a first
It is
date.
too long.
It's too long.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Don't do it.
Because I've been talking to this girl, but
Marathon first dates are not it.
I know. But I just sit and talk. They want to talk. We're drinking. It's like, all right, we'll get
get
another
out of
round.
there.
Yeah.
Robbie's transitioning from his 20s to his 30s.
It's a
I'm
big, that's
transitioning.
big.
I am
can see it happening in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
I know. It's really
No
just
more one night
processing
stands.
what's
I know.
happening.
But then it's like, yeah, we just hung out from 8 p.m. to 2:30. We'll probably hang out again. Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah,
But
I'll
also,
see you.
do you hear the verbiage he's using? Hang out.
Hang out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
This is a boy.
Transitioning.
I'm learning.
No, but this
I'm
is
learning.
a boy. Boys hang out.
Yeah. No,
Boys hang out.
if I want to be intentional, I need to be intentional.
Yes.
Which I'm trying to do.
And also, that's a clear sign. If I ask someone to like, oh, you want to hang out?
Yeah.
That's
No, it's not
I'm
dating, yeah.
saying that word on purpose.
Yes.
And I think,
Yeah, to
I think
provide
that's
low
their
stakes.
option then to be like, yes, because usually that'll be about making out or something like that, you know, right? But I
Yeah.
think like dating is, oh, I want to go
Yeah.
on a date.
Do you want to go out?
Yes, you want to go out, something along those lines. You know, I say hang out intentionally if
Yeah.
I want that.
Mhm.
Same, yeah. No, I
makes
mean, I wasn't
sense.
looking
Yeah.
for that serious, and I let them know before. It's just like, yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna go,
Well,
hang
that's
out, make out, maybe. Hopefully, we laugh.
Jesus,
Have a fun
Robbie.
night. I mean, I tell people I would like one time I was going on a first date, and my friend was like, "It sounds like a breakup text before you're even going," because I was trying to let her know that I like don't because we met at a party.
Yeah.
She asked me, she was like, "Let's go out next week." I was like, "Sure," but I was like, wanted to let her know that I'm not the most serious person. So if you're like looking for a serious boyfriend right now, I'm not
I
your
think
man.
that I appreciate that you
Yeah,
said that.
I do try to say that always because I don't want to waste anybody's time. Especially I'm getting older too, 30. If I'm dating people my age, I cannot be wasting their time.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But then they'll still go out for 6 hours with them.
Well, then they know
Well,
the
then they
deal, I
know.
guess. I'm
Then
like,
they're
if
like,
you just want to
We're
But I
gonna go
think you
hang
need
out
to
and have
continue
fun.
flirt with
to remind
somebody,
them.
you do have to.
Yeah, because
You do.
Which
I
is
think-
annoying, like not annoying, but I tell it to him all the time. Like you have to continue to remind that what your intentions are because
people will hear the words, but
Yeah.
then they'll feel your actions, and your actions might not be lining up with your words.
yeah,
Not great.
And then they're like forgetting. They basically, I think people just take whichever. If the two things don't match, they take whichever thing they prefer.
yeah.
Like
Which
if you're,
makes sense.
Yeah.
that does.
You
Yeah.
see the world you want to see.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. But I think what's important. It's not like actions speak louder than words, or it's the two have to align.
Yeah.
And if their actions don't match their words, problem.
Yeah, I'm a problem. No, but I would send to my friend.
Don't make a little smirky face.
I'm a problem.
Well, I sent to my friend the
Don't
text.
love being a problem.
And I'm not. I'm trying to change. I'm talking to someone intentionally, but I would send to my friend. I'm like, this is a breakup text. Before she was like, this sounds like a breakup text. She helped me reword the text. I go on the few dates, and then she hung out with a girl, and she was like, I'm gonna change. Like, I'm gonna be able to convince Robbie to date. And I was like,
Well, that's
when it's like,
that's a her
all right,
problem.
we're going.
She knows, because the
But
word
yeah,
she's
yeah,
using,
yeah.
she knows.
Yeah.
She knows
Yeah.
that you don't want that.
Yeah.
So that is on her.
Yeah. No. But I am. I am
was
trying
a
to change.
while
I am
ago.
trying to be intentional.
This
This
was
was
a
a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This
This
was
was
a while
not.
ago.
This was before.
But this happens all the time. This
No,
happens all
for
the time
sure,
that
yeah.
people hear something they don't want to hear, and
Yes.
they just
It's
ignore.
this fantasy idea.
Yeah.
That I'm so good that I was able to change him.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
movies tell us that happens.
Yes, I know.
The
That's what
media
it is.
tells us
Media,
that
yeah,
will
yeah.
happen.
And it has nothing to do with the woman. It has to do with the person
Yeah.
themselves.
Absolutely.
Is there any other dating advice or tips out there that you felt like you didn't get to share today? I know that you must have so
Like,
many.
We covered a lot.
Yeah,
but
I
I
know.
think my big thing is direct
Yeah.
communication. We've talked about that a lot, but I
Yeah.
think that's the
Yes.
common thread is
Yeah.
ask for what you want.
Uh-huh.
You might get it or you might not, but if you don't get it, then you will know. And then you can make an informed decision.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I need the information. Once I have the information, then I can move forward. 'Cause
Exactly.
then, I mean, in between, then I feel sad. But once I
Right.
have information, all right, then I maybe feel sad, but I could try to process it. And it's like,
Yeah.
information is key, I feel like.
Yeah, so it's not saying that like if I tell you, hey, I want this, and you say, I can't give that to you. It's not saying, oh, you have to leave him now, but now you have this information, and
Yeah.
now you can decide, okay, they're not able to do that thing. Can I accept that?
Yeah, because you're gonna, no matter who it is, you're gonna have to make like adjustments, and
Yes.
you're gonna have to like. There are things that you're gonna say, I don't. This isn't ideal.
Exactly, and
But
like
what can you deal with?
What exactly, and where can
Yeah.
we meet in the middle? You want someone who's going to try to compromise. Like
Yeah.
you don't want someone who's just going to be like, no, can't do that.
Sure. Yes.
So that's my, I think, parting advice.
I love that.
Ask for what you want.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This was
Yeah,
super
thank
fun.
you.
Yeah, this was such a blast. Where can people find you out there?
Finding Mr. Height on pretty much any social media platform. And then if you're interested in coaching, findingmrheight.com is where I do all that.
I love that. This
Yeah.
is so awesome. Yeah, check out our podcast. It's really great. Erica co-hosts that with you. Erica, listen to her old episode. We talk a lot about dating on Erica's episode too.
Yeah.
You two are both so like thoughtful, which I really appreciate.
Oh, this was amazing. Thank you for having me.
Robbie, what do you want?
Shout out also Shooters Gotta Shoot. We were on that. So
Oh,
check
shit, yeah, you
out
guys went on Shooters?
Erica's
I love
podcast.
Shooters.
Yeah.
shout out Erica Shooters.
We love Erica.
Yeah.
And just keep listening to Loud About Nothing. If you like this, we have a Patreon as well. But yeah, Loud About Nothing, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
Beautiful. All right, Robbie, hit the music.